Hey guys, it's me JR again, and today it's another video about myself. And today we're here to talk about how did I become an ICRT DJ? That's another question that I do get a lot. Here he goes. When I was a kid, I had all these wild dreams. When I was in kindergarten, I dreamed of being this action figure, which was the panda warrior. And then at one point in life, I dreamed of being the president, which would be huge. And then just like most people, as you grow up, your dreams kind of shrink with age. And eventually you just wind up like everyone else, keeping your fingers crossed, hoping that after graduation you get a perfect job to pay your bills. But the main idea inside of me never really faded away. I always wanted to, more or less, make a dent in the universe. In a good way. I always remember Al Gore's documentary on global warming, and by the way, they do have a sequel coming out this summertime. He said, "I've set myself a goal, communicate this real clearly. The only way I know to do it is city by city, person by person, family by family, and I have faith that pretty soon that enough minds are changed that we cross a threshold." And I just told myself, that's what I want to do one day, somehow, to reach out to people, as many as possible, and to convey a good message. So after graduating from college, finishing military service, I landed a job at a big company. And life was hectic. I was working 12 hours a day. It was crazy. In less than 2 years, I felt my energy all drained out, and I wanted to do something that meant something instead of just making ends meet. So I took my risks. I quit my job. I went unemployed for 18 months. I was trying to figure out something. I actually do explain this in another video up here. And that was just a rough, tough, difficult time in life. One night I was sitting in front of my desk listening to the radio, and I'm a huge fan of ICRT. I used to listen when I was in high school, studying late for those exams, crazy. And I heard my favorite DJ on the air, Ron Stewart, and he was saying in a funny and deep voice, "If you think you have a good voice, then send in your resume to ICRT. You just might be the next DJ." And I was like, oh my god, I might be the next DJ! So I thought this might be it. This is my chance finally to reach out to people and have my voice be heard. So I wrote my resume. I included a CD of me impersonating a radio host. And that was actually a birthday gift that I made in college for a junior classmate. And when she got it, she really thought that it was ICRT. I was in the file saying something like, "Hey, you're listening to ICRT, and tonight I'm your late night host, and you got a birthday wish to go out to?" It was fun. She loved it. So I sent my resume along with this CD to Songjiang Road, where ICRT used to be. And for a month, I got nothing. Nothing at all. My friend laughed at me for being so naive, saying, "It's impossible, stop being naive in your dreams," things like that. But I didn't really mind. I kind of thought that where there's a will, there's a way. But then I got the email. It was from Emily David, one of the most popular DJs at ICRT back then, and she wrote, "We'd like to interview you for our weekend shift." So the next thing you know, I'm at their office and it's like, "Welcome to showbiz." They got posters of artists all over their walls, thousands of CDs on their tall shelves. Everything was looking so glamorous. Everybody there was looking so stylish. Like honestly, they all looked like celebrities to me. And on the contrary, I looked like somebody who came from the countryside. I think I saw Wang Lihong in the elevator. He was wearing dark shades and playing with his lips like this. Everything was awesome. But then you kind of come back to earth, because everybody around you, all the other applicants are either American, Canadian, American-born Chinese, and I'm this dude who came back to Taiwan for more than 10 years. I got cold feet. I was really, really nervous. I actually do explain why in this video. But still, I put on my best act. I stepped into the office, playing cool, and sat down with me was a lady and a guy. So the lady said, "Hi, I'm Emily." Emily David! She has a great voice, by the way. And the guy looked at me and said, "Hi, I'm Joseph." So on the surface, I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you, Joseph." But in the inside, Jockey Joe! And we small chatted, and they started to ask me some basic questions. I hardly remember any of them, but I do remember this. Joseph started to get professional, and he started to ask me these music-related questions. He asked, "Can you name 3 artists each from the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s?" So I was like, 90s, 80s, 80s, you got Michael Jackson, 90s, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys. I really got stuck on that question. I tried to be funny to get me off the hook. I said something like, "Oh, I did not see that coming." They laughed, but then Joseph looked at me and he said, "Are you sure you listen to ICRT a lot?" And in that instant, in my mind, I was like, okay, what's the next job interview that I have on my list? I got home, I felt that I needed to start all over again. However, a month later, I got another email from ICRT, and they asked me to do a demo at their studio. A second chance. So there I was again at ICRT, this time at their production house, and I had the help of their producer, Yasmin. She was there to help me out. So I had 6 songs, 2-liners, and I was required to host for like 5 minutes. I sat down with Yasmin for more than an hour, I think. She was really nice and patient, but little did I know, she actually thought that I wouldn't make it while we were doing that demo. She told me months later after I got hired. August the 12th, 2008, I was hired with another DJ, Leslie Who? Leslie. I asked them why they hired me, and they said it was because they liked my energy. But then came another problem. ICRT was moving from Songjiang Road to Xinzhuang, so after they gave me the offer, they actually kept me on hold for quite a long while. There were training sessions during the time, and I eventually launched my show in May 2009. I'm really lucky to say that I was trained by Joseph Lin. Jackie Joe is definitely one of the best radio hosts in the field. During our training sessions called air checks, he would listen to my demos and give me feedback on them. I recall once Joe saying to me that I had a very subtle pause in between my sentences. It was hardly noticeable, but you could feel it. We got down to details like that. It was very detailed training. You need to enable your listeners to imagine your facial expressions through your voice alone. I've always kept that piece of advice in my heart, and it's been very helpful throughout the years. And there was this time that I was trying too hard. I was speaking in a tone that just wasn't me, so I was sounding something like, "And that was Maroon 5, live from Texas concert, beautiful music, amazing amplifiers," something like that. And Joe really disliked that demo. He said, "It's the worst you've done." And I thought it was the best I've done. And Joseph said to me, "Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. Be natural." And when I think of it now, that's the very reason why they hired me in the first place, because they liked how I sounded, not me pretending to be someone else. And I think it's the very same thing in life. God made us all unique. We just gotta be our best selves. Makes sense, right? Many people ask me, what does it take to be a radio host? I would give 4 brief points. First, at ICRT specifically, you have to be a native speaker because it's an English radio station. Second, you have to have radio voice. There's no absolute definition on what that is, but at least you gotta sound nice on the air. Third, hosting style. You gotta be unique, you gotta be yourself, be natural. And in addition to that, it has to be listener-oriented, knowing what the listeners care about, what they want to know, creating value for them, and making them feel close to you, even though you're in a studio with an iron door with one window and probably miles and miles and miles away from them. Fourth and last is your professional requirements. Do you know your music? Are you in touch with what's going on in the world? What's hot? What's not? You have to be capable of creating value content for your listeners. So if you ask me, these are definitely personal qualities that radio stations are looking for in their candidates. Why am I called JR? Well, JR is my stage name. I have the same name as Joseph Lin. I'm Joseph Lee. It sounds really similar. So the day I got in, Joseph said to me, well, we got the same name and even our last names sound alike, so we're gonna have to change names. And I looked at Joseph and I said, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So what are you gonna change your name to? Of course, it was me who had to come up with a stage name in the end, but we brainstormed together. We came up with a long list of names and the process went on for weeks just trying to choose a name. We came up with names like Tom, Josh, Nike, La New, Lacoste. We were desperate. And one time Joseph just said, you're Christian, right? Let's just call you Jesus. And I'm like, no way, dude. Can you imagine me hosting my show saying, hey, this is your DJ Jesus on the air? But we finally came up with JR. Joseph said it's Joseph Jr. so that people know I'm the second Joseph Jr., JR. But then on second thought, he said, maybe that'll give people the wrong conception that I'm your dad. But I like JR. It has that vibe in it when you say it. JR sounds cool. J.R. Smith. And personally to me, it could mean Jesus is my rabbi, which means something to me. So we stood with JR. Working at ICRT was definitely the best time of my career. I gotta be honest though, there's always pros and cons to each workplace, but all in all, I was really happy at ICRT. I would go to work like 9 in the morning and I would be back home by 4 in the afternoon. I had lots and lots of free time on hand, so I could do a lot of things that I really wanted to do. And besides, work itself was really fun. I really enjoyed spending time on the air with my listeners, and sometimes I do miss them a lot. And my fellow DJs were just fun to be around with too. There was always the loud and jolly Ron Stewart, always in the office watching the Lakers games and yelling. I miss him a lot. Stevie G was always before my shift, so we get to meet up every single day. And then there's Emily, Joe, Joey, Vicky, Louisa, Eric too. I can't name them all, but I do miss them a lot. Our producer, Yasmin, she was really nice to me. She was like my personal manager, always trying to fetch me with some external jobs. And yeah, I really do miss those days. But life goes on. That's the way it is. If you were to ask me what was the best thing that happened to me at ICRT, I would say motto of the day. Now, every DJ has to come up with their own unique program, and I was thinking to myself, what do I do that's special and different? Jockey Joe is a guru in music. Stevie G has his nightclub remixes. Vicky was into indie music. Ron Stewart has his unique laughter. Does that count? Okay, and his enthusiasm for sports. So what do I do that separates me from them? What do I do that's unique and special? So I was thinking, I'm the church boy. So maybe I could deliver some inspirational stuff on the air. So I started this little segment called Motto of the Day. Each day I would give my listeners a motto that I thought was worth living by. And at first I thought, no one's going to listen to this. But what the heck, let's just do it. But I was wrong. People started writing me. They even started showing up at my speeches and telling me how much they appreciated the motto thing. There were several listeners that even sent me photos of their notes that they've took while they were listening to my show. And I was like totally flattered. And this is what exactly gave me the insight that maybe, just maybe we could start to do something bigger and more significant through the media. And now here I am, a YouTuber. Who'da thunk it? Thanks for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like and share, and leave a message down below. Let's change the world together. Bless you. Peace.